Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a kind of soft glam look, so a little bit fancier than normal. It's just mostly a soft winged liner and a little bit more highlighter, and I'm trying to think what else is different. Those are the main differences, but you'll just have to stay tuned and keep watching, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so I'm going to start off using my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. You're going to find in my videos that my steps are pretty similar, and that's because I don't like to stray away from what works. I've been doing makeup long enough now that I've already done the experimenting, and I like to stick with what works so that I'm not fiddling around with new products, and I can just kind of bust it out and know that it's gonna look nice, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on to a little concealer. This is a Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer that I've used in my other videos, so nothing new there. And I have a few blemishes, so I'm just gonna kind of dab over those. And any blue or purpley areas I like to go over as well. And I pat that in. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my mineral makeup. I use a Bare Minerals Original Foundation in the powder form, and I'm just going to load up a smaller brush, and I'm going to set my makeup with the powder over the areas that I just concealed. Okay, so now I'm going to load up my fluffier brush with the Bare Minerals powder. And I'm going to swirl that into my skin very lightly. Even when I'm doing a more glam makeup, I usually keep my foundation routine much the same because I want my skin to look like skin and not too cakey. I'm trying to think. That's the gist of my foundation, is depending on like how I change my eyes or my lips or different highlighters, those all change, but I usually leave the foundation and concealing aspect of things the same. And hold on, I think I just heard my daughter, so I'm gonna check on her real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so now I'm going to just set that makeup with a translucent powder. The one I am using is by Nars, and it's their translucent crystal light reflecting setting powder in the pressed form. And I usually only put this around my eyes where I get lots of creasing. I don't really set the rest of my face otherwise. Okay, so now I'm going to bronze up my face a bit, And I'm going to use my Gellar Baked Bronzer. And really, with a bronzer, you want to pick one that's good for your skin type. There's really no perfect bronzer out there, but you have to play around with ones that are different in order to find the one that suits you best. Some have more shimmer, some are matte, some are warmer tones, and some are cooler tones. So it takes fooling around with different ones in order to find the best one for you, because one that works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you, is my best advice. And I know it can get expensive trying out different products, but when you find one that ultimately works, it's worth it, and it usually lasts you a really long time. Okay, that looks pretty good. Nice and bronzed. Gives a little color because I have naturally pretty fair skin. And now I'm going to put on a little blush, and I'm using Nars Orgasm. Again, I tend to use the same products because I know they work for me. And when I want to get ready, I like to not have to think too hard about it, and I don't want to use something that I don't know is going to look good. I want to go to something that I know is tried and true and has worked for me in the past. There are days where I experiment with different makeup, but it's usually not a day where I have an event or somewhere to be. I like using powders, especially the mineral powder foundation, because everything kind of blends together nicely when you're layering different powders on top of one another. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit more over here just to even it out. Maybe putting on a little bit more blush than normal. But I always try and go back over and blend it out after, so that it doesn't look like there's a ton on. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a very, very subtle contour. I'm going to take a tapered brush. This is by MAC, and this sculpting powder by Tilbury. This is their Filmstar Bronze and Glow Duo, and I'm going to load that up on the tip and focus it on the back hollows of my cheekbones. And that's really all I do. I'm scared of contouring, actually. I feel like it can get really out of control really fast. Sucking in your cheekbones like that is helpful, only because it helps you find that line you want to follow. But that's really all I do as far as contouring when and if I do it. And I'm a stickler about blending it out because I don't like it when it looks like there's lines down the hollows of your cheeks. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shimmery color right here, and it's actually an eyeshadow, I believe, but I'm going to use it as a highlighter. I really like how it has both gold and pearl tones in it. It's Bare Minerals top of the top shelf Eyeshadow Duo. I will link products below, obviously. And I use my finger and I tap that into my brow bone and cheekbone area, like so. I always try and find where the light naturally hits, because everybody's high points of their face are different, and you'd be surprised where your high points are. So it's nice to kind of find the light and see where your high points are, and then you can just dab that in. Take a little and put it right on the center of my nose, and a little on my Cupid's bow. And then I buff it all together because I don't like having edges that aren't blended. Okay, let's see, what am I doing next? Let's go ahead and put one coat of mascara on. And before I do that, I need to curl my lashes. And my lash curler isn't here. So hold on just a second. Let me go grab that. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm going to curl my lashes. So now I'm going to put on one coat of mascara, a thin coat, because when I like my first coat to really just be a base, and then I go back and put on a second coat that can usually be more dramatic. But that prevents the lashes from getting too clumpy if you just do several layers of thin coats. Okay, so that's a good first coat. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry. My eyes are watering. And we're gonna do the brows. I'm going to use the Brow Duo from MAC in brunette and a small eyeliner brush, and dipping it into this darker powder. And I am gently filling in my brows with little hair-like strokes. And I like to focus on areas that are sparse. And then I take a spoolie and brush them through. Kind of breaks up the powder and makes it look more natural. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, that's a pretty good stopping place. I'm going to now do a little eyeliner, and I'm first going to line the inner fleshy part of my eyelid or my lash line with some black liner. This is by Urban Decay. It's a black 24/7 glide on pencil. And I'm going to line the outer 2/3 of my eye. I always hate that part. I don't really like to wear eyeliner, but there's a time and a place, so gotta just roll with it. If you notice, like, into your makeup routine that you have a little creasing, I kind of take my finger and like smooth it out, and then I go back in with that setting powder and tap it in. Sometimes that happens, and that's why I use setting powder, but okay. So I'm going to brush through my lashes. Make sure they're combed out. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with my brow powder, and I'm going to use this darker color again, and the same brush, and I'm going to load it up. And now I'm going to look at my lash line and kind of see where a natural shadow would is happening behind my lashes, and I'm going to gently tap some dark powder where that shadow would be. So I'm gonna creep behind my lashes here and just kind of tap that into that lash line without closing my eyes, because I think this is very visual. You're ultimately creating an optical illusion, trying to enhance your lash line and make it look thicker. And this obviously takes some practice, but if you just do a little bit at a time, it remarkably comes together at the end. So don't go in and try and do your whole lash line at once. At the very corner, you want to continue that line out. And the nice thing about using a powder is it is a softer effect, and so it doesn't need to look perfect. In fact, that's the whole point of using a powder over a pencil or a liquid, is it allows you to make it look like a softer shadow. And I really like the effect that gives. A drawn-on eyeliner can be kind of harsh, especially if it's liquid. But if you're good at doing a feline flick or a cat eye with some eyeliner, then I give you major props, because it's not easy to do. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point. They aren't going to look perfectly symmetrical or exactly the same, but that's okay, as long as you get close. Okay, so now I'm going to very gently give my lashes a quick bump from the lash curler, and very quick is an emphasis on very quick. I only do this once my first coat of mascara is completely dried, and it makes your lashes look even more curled, obviously, but I find that it holds better throughout the day. And then I go in and put on one more coat of mascara. And on this coat, I really push it into the lash line, wiggle it, and pull up. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point. I'm sure everybody has a funny mascara face that they make when they're doing their makeup. So I apologize if I was making a very funny face. I guess it just comes with the territory. I have a few mascara mess up marks right around here, and that happens a lot, especially once your lashes are curled. So once that dries a little bit, I'll show you how to take that off. Once the mascara is dried, it's really easy to take off. So I go in and I find those little spots and I take it off with a Q-tip. Go back one more time with that setting powder. I swear, creasing is like the worst. Don't we all feel that way? Okay, so I believe that's it. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any steps, but this is it. A soft glam going out look when you want to feel fancy and special. This look is fun to do for special occasions, definitely. Or if you just want to feel really pretty and have more time on your hands to do your makeup. So I appreciate you watching my channel. I hope that this gives you some tips and tricks. And let me know if you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. And let me know what type of video you would like to see next. I look forward to seeing you, and thanks again for watching. Bye.